Hello everyone, I'm Nini FC and this is Blue Lines TV, and today I'm bringing you guys another transfer daily video. Now, I've got a ton of things to talk about in today's episode. I'm going to be talking about Leon Bailey, I'm going to be talking about Arturo Vidal, I'm going to be talking about David Luiz, and I'm going to be talking about Bernucci. But anyway, getting straight into the first video, and that is Arturo Vidal. Reports have come out stating that Chelsea have offered Arturo Vidal a 4-year contract worth 13 million a season. Reports have stated that Conte really wants to bring Arturo Vidal back to Chelsea. He was quoted as saying in a recent interview that it's not right for him to talk about other players playing at other clubs. But at the same time, he does have great respect for Arturo Vidal. He said that they've spent many years together, and if there was one player that he could take to war with him, that would be Vidal. Now, reports from a Chilean news publication called La Cuarta have stated that Conte has in fact had phone call discussions with Vidal to try and force him to pick Chelsea and leave Bayern Munich. Reports also state that Bayern are willing to let Vidal leave because he does have 6 months left on his contract, and they're thinking that his form this season hasn't been as amazing and maybe it's time for a replacement. Still though, it's time for me to give my opinions on these stories, and sorry to burst people's bubbles, but I do think it's complete nonsense. I mean, there's so many factors against why Vidal won't be coming. It really makes no sense. I mean, the first one is the wage that we've supposedly offered Vidal. 13 million a season. That would make him one of the highest wage players at the club. And I think when Hazard does sign his new 300 a week contract soon, then he will become number one. But with Vidal signing, I think that even places him at the player at the highest wage at the club. And let's not forget the biggest stumbling block for why this is never going to happen. Vidal is currently 30 years old when he does sign that pre-contract agreement, and if he was to come during summer, he's going to be 31. So Chelsea are going to offer a 31-year-old a 4-year contract, even though we all know that when you're above 30 years old, you only get a 1-year extension. Now, we're going to completely destroy our budget to give a 31-year-old player a 4-year contract worth 13 million a season. Come on now. Of course, there is truth that Conte would like Vidal to come, only in terms of having played with him previously. And I think with this story, it really shows you how the press do work in a way. They've really just taken the smallest bit of information. Actually, I can't even call that information. They've taken the smallest quote from Conte and turned it into a story. And, you know, that's how it works sometimes. Obviously, the clicks and the views you get, obviously, that gets monetized. But the reports of Conte having spoken to Vidal on the phone and Chelsea offering a 4-year contract, well, that's come from Chile, and that's complete fabrication. I mean, most fans will probably know this already. He is above 30 years old, and the club's policy is very strict. But at the same time, you know, let's be hypothetical. It's always fun to be a bit hypothetical. I think Vidal would be a nice addition to the team. I mean, this is a guy I've always really rated. I wanted him a couple years ago, actually, like 4 years ago when he was 27. That was when he was linked to Manchester United and he was close to leaving Juventus at the time. That would have been the best time to sign him. I think in the system he could work, but at the same time, I don't really feel that he offers that creativity with his passes in terms of that vertical passing, but he does provide a goal threat and he is good at penalties. But for me, I think Vidal makes more sense in a 3-man midfield than in a 2-man midfield. Now, moving on to another Bundesliga target, that is Leon Bailey of Bayer Leverkusen. Now, I do have some exclusive information surrounding Leon Bailey. The first bit of news is that we are going to be making a £27 million bid for him in January. I know a lot of you guys saw my previous Transfer Daily video when I was talking about Leon Bailey. The club have been scouting him since before he signed for Genk, and they feel that it's a great time to have him come now because he's showing some promising top-class form for Bayer Leverkusen this season. He has the ability to play on the left-hand side and on the right-hand side. He can shoot, he can pass, his crossing is decent, and he's extremely pacey, and he's got that rare skill where he can run at great speeds while having close control of the ball. And he's extremely skillful and very fun to watch. And I think as fans, it would be nice to have a player of that dimension coming to the club, giving us some entertainment value. Reports have come out that Arsenal are interested at looking into Leon Bailey as well. It's no surprise to me that with Sanchez looking like he's going to be leaving, that Arsenal are looking into players such as your Baileys and your Yannick Carrasco's. Now, moving into the juicy part of this story, and that's in regards to Leon Bailey's adopted father, Craig Butler. Craig Butler is the agent of Leon Bailey, and he has a good relationship with Chelsea due to Emanalo. Emenalo and Butler have had a lot of discussions over the years. They've got a nice relationship with each other, and that's going to give us the advantage when it comes to signing Leon Bailey. But there's something that Leon Bailey's dad would like, and he would like Chelsea to sign his son as well as looking at some of his young talents that he has under his books. Now, Butler's son and Bailey's brother is Kyle Butler. He was at Genk, the same as Leon Bailey, but he is playing in Malta for St Andrews FC at the moment in time. He is 19 years old, and basically this deal is very similar to a lot of deals that Chelsea have done over the following years. The first one was with Masunda and his brothers coming, and I'll let you guys know something as well, but Masunda's brother does follow me on Twitter. And a second example is with Eden Hazard bringing in Thorgan and Killian. This type of creative negotiating really gives us the advantage when it comes to signing players of this dimension. Chelsea have a history when it comes to sealing these types of deals, and it seems like Leon Bailey will be coming in January. Now, there is one more thing to add to this story, and that's in regards to Mourinho and Conte. Now, Conte doesn't really want this player because for his system he prefers more number 10 players, but the thing with number 10 players, as I've said in previous videos, is that most managers don't really use them. So if Chelsea did spend a lot of money on players of that dimension, and let's say Conte did leave because he hasn't agreed to a new contract yet, then Chelsea don't want to have players that aren't really going to suit a new manager. Chelsea feel that Leon Bailey is the exact type of player they want to bring in. He's able to cut inside, play out wide, he can play on either flank as well, and he has a goal threat. Mourinho's a big fan of him and wants to bring him to the club, and Mourinho wants to use this signing in a way to assert her dominance that she wants to have at Chelsea, because in a way she does have the final say on who's going to be bought and sold, because she's the one that does those transfer negotiations in the first place. Now, tomorrow I'm finally going to be releasing my video on Antonio Conte. It's a pretty risky one because it just comes from my sources really, and I'm going to actually take a chance with it because I believe them. They've been right with a lot of things. But you guys, it's definitely going to be a video that you definitely want to watch for tomorrow. Moving on to the final two stories, starting with David Luiz. Now, this story is brought to you by Telefoot and a Catalonia radio station, and basically they're stating that Barcelona are interested in bringing in David Luiz on loan to the club. Mascherano will be signing for Hebei Fortune in China, and they're looking for a replacement for him because Luiz is able to play in midfield when he needs to, but they feel that his qualities would really suit the team at the back. Now, this Catalonia radio station in fact stating that Luiz was in fact in Barcelona to see a knee specialist, and during his time in Barcelona he did hold some preliminary talks with Barcelona. Now, I've been told that Conte and Luiz have in fact patched things up a while ago, and the reason why Luiz isn't in the team is because of his knee injury. But still, there are conflicting reports in regards to Luiz and Conte still not seeing eye to eye, but I'm not too sure about that. I think we have to wait until he's fully fit, but I don't see Luiz leaving in January purely because of his knee injury, and most clubs aren't going to take that risk at all. But being hypothetical again, if Conte and Luiz really haven't patched things up, how will this actually work? Well, maybe the World Cup could be the key to Luiz leaving Chelsea in January, because he does want to play for Brazil, he does want to play for his country, he's extremely patriotic, and he wants to play in his last World Cup. And he feels that maybe moving to Barcelona, possibly get more game time, and he'd have much better chances of playing for Brazil. Now, he could be thinking, I come back fully fit, Conte already likes Christensen, and Conte doesn't like to really change his back three. We saw similar things last year in regards to Cahill and Kurt Zouma. Maybe if Zouma was fully fit from the start, he could have really caught Conte's eye. But really, this is the only feasible way I can see Luiz leaving. This story links into the final story for today's Transfer Daily video, and that is Bernucci from Milan. Now, it's been reported by Tutto Sport that if Luiz was to leave, Conte would like to bring in Bernucci from Milan. Milan aren't doing too well in the league currently. Bernucci is reported to not be too happy with his time there at this moment in time. Conte's always been a big fan of Bernucci, trying multiple times to bring him to the club. Milan actually reacts to the story in regards to Bernucci leaving on their club website, stating that there were dark forces at work. But again, this seems like another non-story to me because Bernucci is 30 years old. I can't see Chelsea selling or letting Luiz leave to bring in a guy that's 30 years old to the club. We're not that same club anymore. It's not how we like to do our transfer business or negotiations. And we know that Bernucci does play in the middle of a back three, so this really makes no sense because it seems like Christensen has got Conte's trust, and I can't see Conte stopping Christensen's development anymore now because he's been very impressed with what Christensen's been doing this season. But anyway, you guys, that's going to bring an end to today's transfer daily video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you liked it. In the comment section below, let me know what you thought on my news surrounding Leon Bailey. Would you like to see him at Chelsea? Do you rate him? Anyway, you guys, I'm EFC. This is Blue Lines TV. And actually, before I even forget to say this, if you haven't pressed the bell notification button, please press that. Only takes a second, and stay tuned to all things Blue Lines TV. I'm EFC. This is Blue Lines TV. Signing out.